Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Skies of Arcadia Revisited. I'm Nye, and we got a couple of items in our inventory that we need to use. So what do we got in here? Well, number one, we have 3 shams. Let's go ahead and use those on Cupel. Nothing happened, that's a shame. We've got a Dexus Seed, that's an Agile by 1. Hi Vice, take that. 2 Self Seeds, increased Quick by 3. Hi Vice, take that. The Tropica that we just got from the XNS Demons increases an ally's max HP by 200. Hi Vice, take that. That's useful. I think that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. We don't need anything else. But, hey, that was good stuff. Do we have any, Nah, it looks like we've used all of our pirates' stripes. Captain stripes. Oh, yeah! Right, that's why we were doing no damage. I did not have the captain's hat on Vice. I had the white map. So that is, part of why that went so badly. Okay. Okay, so we're going to be doing another of a, another bounty this time. This time we're going to talk to this guy. This is one of the guys in the wanted list, the Sailors Guild. This is Loose Cannon Lapen, who does not look like as much of a rabbit as his name would suggest. And he is definitely overcompensating for something, I think. Looks like we've got a live one here. Makes the bounty more interesting. I do not need the bounty to be more interesting. Vice, here's this guy's thrashing up to use that machine of his. His name's Lapen. And Lapen is really just pulling on the tough guy act, trying to stop him or something. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. That's the plan. The name's Vice. You've probably heard of me. We're here to earn a little cash. And the guy, he immediately recognizes our name. So you're this Vice that everybody keeps talking about. Exactly. Making a name for ourselves, and he wants to take us down so he can get his name back. He'll become even more famous than we are if he takes us down. And so we come, let's fight outside the city. Doesn't want anybody to get hurt. And Lapen says we're a coward, and fighting outside makes us feel more comfortable. We'll need all the help we can get to beat him. That's, might be true. So now we're on deck. Vice says that he probably built the machine himself. Lapen says it's the only thing his good-for-nothing pops ever taught him. You have a dad? Figures she wants to just hatch from an egg and call that from under some rock somewhere. And this guy's really pissed about that. Apparently, he's very sensitive about daddy figures. He didn't ask for help. Guy just picked him up. Anyway, his name is Sentime. Hey, look, there's out of nowhere. We know Sentime. Sentime raised you. I think the writing on that whole reveal of that Sentime, the best technician ever, the greatest guy, adopter of orphans, basically Brad Pitt, that he is the dad of this pond scum. But, yeah. So Lapen is still very sensitive about the daddy issues. Says we don't know anything that we're talking about. And there's his machine, which apparently runs on its own. It's basically a tank. This thing is actually scary. It is extremely frightening. It can do a lot of very mean things to us. Notice that Lapen is just up there, just laughing. Him and Gunarm are going to be big, real big, not like that old fart of a dad. And into the thing he goes. He's going to rip us apart with this machine. We best come at him with all we have, because he's not coming back. For some reason, that's a really hard sentence to say. So Lapen can be very difficult, and I did not do it really well the last time I played, and so from the first run-through, I had yet another one of those piece of advice similar to... no, I don't want to use that. Piece of advice similar to taking out Rupee first, and then whatever I did when it was part of Repeat. I think I took out Barda first. But what I was told to do, and I will do it this time, and we'll see what we can do, is to use... and this is going to start next turn. So, this thing drops these things called frocks. They focus on just one character, and they will attack that character until they're dead. Kind of like this. Wow, that's bad. But yeah, they very specifically attack just one character, and they will not stop. And they will do it every turn. So you have to kill those characters. The thing is, though, they focus on just one character, and they only do basic attacks. Which means that Vice's ability to do his counter shield for his entire party is very powerful against those things.
This should work.
So it's recommended, or was recommended to me, to have Vice specifically counterattack them and let other people do all the damage. It's not a terrible idea. The thing about it is that Vice is all the damage on this team. That's what he is. So I can let someone else do the great, and he has to use his most powerful attack. So he has a Moonstone Cannon, by the way. And Moonstone Blast has a chance to do an instant kill. It does have that ability. It's such a pain in the ass. Okay, so Skull Shield is the ability in question. We don't need to use Delta Shield at all. It's not needed. So we're not going to use it. Let's have you just go ahead and Sacralin yourself, and you are going to use Justice Shield. So we still want Justice Shield, but that I recall, Loose Cannon Lapen never casts a spell, and neither do the Frox. So you don't need Delta Shield for this fight. You can focus on everything else. So this is the first time we've seen Skull Shield. Pirates Full, defend our cause. And so we have this pirate ghost thing that will defend all of our allies. And the good news is it blocks basic attack damage and then sends attack damage back. So because all of these things are going to attack specifically Fina, as long as I am using Pirates or Skull Shield, they will be unable to kill Fina. Which, that's good news. And we'll be able to kill them back without me having to waste any more than one character taking them out. Which is also very good. It means I don't have to spend 16 SP using Rain of Swords to take out the Frox. It also means I don't have to use multiple allies. Now, this is bad. Target Search leads into him doing, I forget what the ability is. Very powerful ability, hurts like hell. That's, should be pretty obvious. Let's go ahead and use a Sacrum Crystal. Actually, you know what? I need you to use a Glyph of Speed. And now you use the Sacrum Crystal. And then you go ahead and Justice Shield. So a bit of a wasted turn, really. We're working on just getting rid of the Frox first because they are the biggest threat on the field right now because they do about 1,000 damage per turn. And I think they focus on whichever character has the least amount of health. I'm pretty sure. Because notice how they're going off of Vice now instead of going off of Fina. So I think Vice has less total health, so they're going off of him. So we should be able to get rid of all 3 Frox this turn. So far, this strategy that I was given is working, which is great. So whoever it is that made the suggestion, you know who you are, and if you're still watching, once again, thank you for the strategy. So far, it's working. I think it might be Daniel V again, who gave the strategy for Rupee and Barda. So I'm sure he'll speak up when this episode goes up. Okay, here comes the Sacrum Crystal. So now everybody's at full health, or close enough. I think he's going to do Rampage? Okay. I forget the mechanics of Rampage. All I know is it does an absolute ton of damage. As you can see, 1660 is a fair amount of damage done. Okay, so now the Frox are all gone. So now I can focus on actually doing some damage. I don't need Delta Shield, it's not needed, so we can just focus on getting some heals up. I think I will toss a Sacrays onto Vice, and then we'll do another Justice Shield. Now, I think the way the game works is that if there's no Frock out, Lapen will focus. I think he wastes his turn on getting a Frock out. I believe that's how the mechanic works. So now I can focus on doing as much damage to him as possible while he's going to continuously put Frox out. And I think now that we've gotten rid of them, we should be able to keep them down consistently. I think. Again, it's been a while since I've done this fight, so we're going to see what happens. So there's his Frock. So charge makes the thing happen. So Frock just spawned. And I think that's going to be his only ability for this turn. Yep, that is it. So now I can focus on killing the Frock. And we can let everybody else do their thing. Now I am using a Cutlass Fury to take out the Frock, just because I don't know how much damage a basic attack is going to do to it, and I want to make sure it goes down this turn. Because I do want to force Lapen to spawn those as much as possible, while we build up SP, so that way we can use another Pirate's Wrath. So here comes Target Search. He may do another Rampage, and if he does, that's going to be fine, because by the time he does that, I will have everybody at full health. So we'll sack him up. Justice Shield. Justice Shield's probably the most important thing I can be doing right now. I am a little bit concerned with the Moonstone Blast, because as I said, he does have a Moonstone Cannon, so he is the only other person in the world that has a Moonstone Cannon, and for some reason, this is never, I don't think they ever talk about this in the game, about why he has something so powerful that only our ship is supposed to have. It's also apparently very expensive. So here comes the Rampage, which should do very little damage, though if it hits Fina, it might instant kill her, I'm not quite sure. Nope, he's going after just Vice. That may be a mechanic. He may only go after Vice with that attack. I'm not sure off the top of my head about that one. But, yeah, they never talk about the Moonstone Cannon that he has. But it does have the ability to instantly kill an ally. I don't know what the % chance of it is, but I do know that it can drop. So it's something we have to be concerned with. It could cause bad things to happen. We don't want that to happen. But there he goes. So he's got maybe one basic attack left in him. So this strategy, the counterattack strategy, it's something I never thought about using, honestly. I'm not quite sure why I never thought about using it. But there you go. It is a very good strategy to use, and I'm very excited that it worked. So once again, the person who suggested this strategy, I do believe it was Daniel V, but you know who you are. Once again, thank you so much for that suggestion, because it worked out just fine. Now, the real question is, where were you when I needed your help with the XNX Demons last episode? Gah! Now, there was probably a suggestion for that, too, and I probably completely missed it. The big suggestion is probably going to be, you should have waited for, you should have waited until you had Prophecy. Which I really should have. So that fight's over. Wow, so that took in total 10 minutes. Probably 1 minute of me futzing around with items, too. Whereas the XS Demons took half an hour. Okay, so we get Berserker Mail, I'll talk about that in a second. But now we get a quick little thing here. So Lapen looks a little bit upset with himself. He can't believe that he's no better than Pops, and so we step in. He may have misjudged Sentai just a little bit. He's kind of a badass. Best machinist in all of Valua, perhaps even the world, and on top of it, he's a kind-hearted man who looks after young orphans like you. And, shut your mouth. You don't need to tell. Yeah. This kid just has so many issues. He wants to be famous. He can't sit around like Pops waiting for something big to happen to him. So you left home to become a legend by destroying people. Even Vice is nobody in the grand scheme of things. Some things take time, like being famous. And, you probably shouldn't go around destroying things. That's typically bad. You're not very different, except Vice doesn't destroy things. Destroying things and hurting people is probably the worst way. Probably the worst way of making things happen. So we beat the crap out of Lapen. And in this text, you'd almost think that Lapen would become a crew member of some sort. Like, maybe he'd become an engineer on the ship. But he bows his head to Vice. You'd almost think that he becomes a crew member. But unfortunately, once he's gone, he's gone. So that was the end of that. So we got the Berserker Mail. I typically put this on Vice because it is really good. It's got good stats all around, and it increases damage. And that's, I like that. I like maxing damage on Vice because he has some obscene damage output, which we definitely want to have. So we're going to go over here. We're going to redeem those bounties real quick. Vice the Valiant. Here's our bounty. We receive 5,000 gold for defeating Loose Cannon Lapen, and 8,000 gold for defeating the XNS Demons. What do we got next? Wanted list. So we've beaten Baltor, Rupee, Gordo, Loose Cannon Lapen, and XNS Demons. There's only 3 more bounties in the game, and we're not going to be seeing them for quite some time. Let's go ahead and sell the Stone City, the Philosophy Stone, and the Balloon Flower. There we go. And I have about 42,000 gold available to me. So there's one more thing we need to do this episode. We're not going to do that quite yet, though. I need to heal. And I also need healing items, because, surprisingly enough, I am actually running out of items. Skies is one of the very few games I play where items are just of paramount importance. Like, they're huge. And I need to have a lot of them. I need more. We need at least many lots. Sacrum crystals. And oddly enough, I don't know why Sacrarulins are so inexpensive. But they're so very important. You need to have Sacrarulins. They're probably the most important item in the game. You can buy Choms, by the way. I don't know if I ever pointed this out. But that is something you can buy. Okay, we're just completely out of gold. I spent all of my gold just now. And I don't think there's anything that I need to spend gold on right now. I don't think there's going to be anything I will need to spend gold on for quite some time. I'm probably going to need to farm a little bit once we get to our next storyline area. Just because there's going to be an equipment upgrade that I can start doing around then that's going to require a little bit of money. So expect me to have farmed just a little bit before the next episode. Oh, damn. Oh, that's bad. Okay. You know what? This is what we're going to do. It's fine. We're just going to heal up this way. This is the other thing that, about where I am in the game right now. I actually have not focused on upgrading magic all that much. I've been doing a lot of focusing on getting my silver level spells up. Speaking of, how are we on that? Nope. Need to see this. Crap. Okay, she is Rissalin. Okay. Don't really have silver level spells maxed. That's kind of bad. I need Rissalin to be on just about every character, so that way I don't have to use Rissalin crystals, because those are actually really expensive. Those are about 600 gold apiece. So, gonna have to focus on getting that done. But I also need to get green going too, because I want to have at least Sacrum on every character. So need to get that done. So the other thing we're gonna do this episode is, some time ago I got the second black spot from Piastol, and she is right here. She's ready to fight again. Let's go ahead and save real quick, because we did just beat the pants off of Loose Cannon Lapen, and I would like to save that. Okay, now let's go talk to Piastol again. So she wants to kill us again. She has not stopped. And we got a certain amount of moonfish, so now she wants to fight again. So she's been waiting for us. She assumes that we remember her. Of course we did. We beat the crap out of you last time. There's something that... I recall there's something that changes about her appearance every time you fight her. But, can't remember what. But yeah, she reintroduces herself. And we're going to fight again. Aka doesn't seem to recall exactly who she is. And then now she comments, we beat you once. Who cares? Give it a rest. But, yeah. Piastol comes. We speak as if her search for us has been a recent phenomenon, but the past 7 years she's been searching the world for us, looking for any trace of our passing that she could, for Vice specifically. Vice wants to know what she's talking about, but Piastol has no other words for him, and that today she will have her revenge on guard. So I think I commented about it last time we fought Piastol, however long ago that was. But Piastol is an evolving boss. She kind of has a similar style every time you fight her. She'll have the dog, she'll use the same general abilities. The thing about Piastol is that every time you fight her, it's going to be a harder fight than last. And this sounds like standard progression, I know, and for the most part it is. It's a standard progression of a fight. But Tempest Dance gains more and more damage every time. Notice how she did a second set of attacks? She didn't just do the stab with her scythe. Then she went and just started roundhouse kicking the crap out of Aka. Every time you fight her, Tempest Dance grows stronger and stronger to the point where it almost becomes an instant kill move later on down the line. Unfortunately, I had focused on starting up with Glyphs of Might, which is actually, that's not a bad idea. Like, getting Glyphs of Might up early is important because it means that I'm able to do as much damage as possible later on, and it means I take less damage. But because I had that going, I wasn't defending, I wasn't doing half damage with Enrique, so she was able to get quite a lot of damage going, which is fine. That's absolutely fine. I'm not concerned. Piastol should be a fairly easy fight, because we know how to fight her. So now that we have the glyphs going on, I'm going to Cutlass Fury up the Death Hound, because that's one of the most important things for you to get rid of. You want to get rid of the Death Hound as early as possible, because it's just... One, it's an ad, so it does a lot more damage, and it just kind of distracts you from doing other things, but it also drops a lot of spells, and it's just obnoxious. So you get rid of it quick, because it has very low health and very low defense. You notice that Vice did something like 800 damage to it on a counterattack, and now I'm going to Cutlass Fury it. So you want to get rid of it. It also casts Noxus and stuff like that. Now, the other thing you want to do is you want to make sure you have Delta Shield up every turn. Delta Shield and Shield of Justice. You want both up. The reason why you want both, you want the Delta Shield up because the dog and Piastol, they both do a lot of spells. The dog likes to poison. He does a lot of that, and I think it also drops Drill Nose on you. And the obnoxious thing about Piastol is that she will use the instant kill spell, and what's more, she's good at it. She tends to land it. And every time you fight her, she gets an upgraded version, to the point where she will get the always hits instant kill spell eventually. So if you don't have Delta Shield up, she will just wreck you. So we definitely want to make sure that we have Delta Shield up, just basically no matter what. Here comes another Tempest Dance. Who's she focusing? Fina. Okay, well, hopefully Fina will survive this. Yeah. That's why we want Justice Shield up. We want it specifically for Tempest Dance, because it just does too much damage. Okay, the dog's gone, so that's good. I'm happy about that.
Let's try this.
lift up speed will make sure that we're constantly outpacing her, I believe. There's a comment on one of the videos earlier that someone was commenting on how they thought movement speed works, like how they thought quick and things like that worked. And the way they thought it worked, this sounds about right. This is typically the way the ATV battle system works. You have each character's quick ability. So let's say Aka's is 50. And what'll happen is the game will take their base quick, and then it will do roll a d20, and then it will add quick on top of that. Or it'll do a variance of plus 10, minus 10, whatever it is. And it will randomly decide how much quick you have on that particular turn. And then it'll order you by highest to lowest quick, which makes perfect sense. So if you have, let's say, Aka at 50 and Vice at 40, if Aka gets minus 10, she goes down to 40, and Vice gets plus 10, he goes up to 50, so Vice goes before Aka, even though Aka has better quick than Vice does. And this sounds about right. I'd be willing to say this is probably how the game is designed, and that's fine. It's a really obnoxious way to design it, because it does mean the slowest character moves faster than the fastest sometimes, and it also makes it very hard to predict exactly who's going to take their turn when. Typically, an ATV battle system would tell you ahead of time exactly who's taking their turn when, so you can plan ahead. So it's kind of obnoxious that it does it this way. I'm not overly worried about it, though, but I will complain about it from time to time, especially when you have the quick-ud and very fast. Look, 6,000 damage off of Vice. That's what we want to see off of that ability every freaking time. But it is very obnoxious to see the quick-ud Vice, who's also a very fast character to begin with. Vice is actually really fast. He is one of the faster characters, and he will, later on in the game, he will typically repeatedly be the first one out the gate. It's very obnoxious to see a quick-ud Vice losing the speed run to Piastol. I believe she's meant to be a fast character too. She's meant to rip your party to pieces. But it doesn't make it any less stupid. It really doesn't. Here's the Attorney, so it's the instant kill spell. As I said, she does have access to it. Luckily, we have Delta Shield up, and that's exactly why I have Delta Shield up. So she loses. So that's cool. And now we are simply waiting for the fight to end, actually, because she should go down this turn. No! Okay, she'll go down next turn. Okay. So one of the other things that I wanted to bring up is Prophecy. I brought it up last episode about the fight with the XNS demons. And the reason why I want to bring it up is that I'm doing all these fights without it, and I typically will do most boss fights in the game without Prophecy. I'll probably do all of them, honestly. I'm not sure. I can't remember if I did Prophecy for the first run through the game. But, or I didn't use it much, I don't think. But I noticed that a lot of guides about the game typically talk about Prophecy as if it is some sort of... it's the only way to beat the game. And I just want to bring it up. It isn't. You can do a lot of things without Prophecy. There's a lot of boss fights you can beat without Prophecy. You don't need it. It's a good crutch. And there's sometimes it'd be really good to even things up, like if you're playing against Loose Cannon Lapen, using Prophecy to get rid of the Frogs, do a lot of damage. Good stuff. Just as I showed earlier, you're going to spend a lot of turns waiting for Prophecy to roll around. You could have been doing a lot of damage that entire time. So Piastol wants to know that why, when she finally fights the man she's been searching for all these years, she cannot win. Vice is still confused, wants to know what she's talking about, and Aka wants to know, again, exactly what she's talking about, why she's been chasing them for 7 years. It's a really long time. They're only like 15. But Piastol's being all goth. We could never understand her pain. And once again, the reintroduction. Remember this, she swears that someday she will defeat you. Don't think they can escape. She shall never forgive us. She is the Angel of Death. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, well that is Angel of Death Fight 2 out of the way. So let's go do one more thing while we're here. I want to go in this direction. This is something that it's very hard to do this without having been to, oh, there it is. Without having been to, no, do not go away. Do not go away, you pain in the ass. Damn! Okay, there's this rising and sinking thing right here. This is a discovery, actually. This is the Mirage Island. Lately, sailors have been reporting sightings of Sailor's Island floating around mid-ocean. They tried to get close to the island, but to no avail. Theory has that light reflected off Sailor's Island is creating a mirage of sorts. Or it is a rising and falling island, like that. You cannot actually get to that island unless you've actually been into Valua twice, I believe. I think you have to go in both times. Now, keep in mind, I can go mess around with Valua a lot. I can go right up here. Hi, how's it going? But I don't think you can actually go through. So even those holes here, even though you can see inside, you can't actually get into Valua. There will be another time later on in the game that you actually can go back to Valua. It is possible. But not right now. Okay, so I believe that is most of the content that we can do right now. Perhaps I should just sit still for this one. So that's about all we can do right now. Technically, we can go to the Lands of Ice. There's a bunch of discoveries that I can get while I'm there. Thing is, we're going to go to the Land of Ice anyways later on down the line. It's part of the storyline, so I think I'm going to wait on that, and I will do the Land of Ice discoveries when we're actually there anyways. It also allows us to get leveled up a little bit more, because there are some tough enemies in there, and there's some stuff I don't want to do there just yet. So I think we're going to hold off on that. When I catch you guys next time, it'll be after I do a little bit more leveling up. I'm going to do a little bit of grinding, so I have some money for the next shop that we're going to see. And then I will catch you guys at or around the next storyline location. I will see you guys next time.